So that gave me an indication, okay, what about warmth? Okay? So if I hand out my hand to you, then you see the shadow of the warmth that I have for Ray. There is no shadow. There is no shadow for warmth. So it is, this is fallen warmth. Okay. Rudolf Steiner said that these forms really were together. They were really together, and then they split into these others. Okay, so I just left it there. And what I found was, through my research, I found out that this part expands, this part contracts. You just saw all of those forms contract. So how do I make these expand? Now, no one has ever done this with these Platonic forms. Nobody has tried to expand these. No one. They just cut, 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 cut. So what I did was I thought, well, what I found, in an indirect way, was that this tip of the fire opens up like a blossom. It opens up like a flower. And when it does, it opens up to a flower, it looks like this. Now what's happening is the blue, okay, the blue is coming because the red is expanding. Huh? And the more, see how I can put it down here like that. So the red and the red makes a plane. So if I keep going, okay, it looks like this. You see expand? It's expanding now. Not contracting, it's expanding. So this tetrahedron now is opening up to this form. And remember that this is the transitional form between the elements between fire and air. This is the development between warmth and light. That's the light ether. So this is air. This is known as air, and the elements, and the ether is known as light. This is the geometric form for light, and a lawful progression using the Platonic forms. Now what I've also found out about the etheric is that it seems to combine itself all the way across. There's a combination of forms where here there's a separation. So here is separation, here is combining. I'll show you what I mean. If I take this form, it's an octahedron with the tetrahedron on top. Look at that. It's combined fire, it's combined warmth and light. The etheric now is geometrically lawful. What he said was lawful. So what this means is that this form is a combination of warmth, okay, and cold. Warmth is black. Cold is white. Light is cold. The darkness is where all the warmth is. That's the will. So this form combines warmth and cold. It also is light and warmth. And this guy right here goes back into this one, and this becomes the human heart with the design of it inside. So if you see that, I've taken the tetrahedron, which is this one, and I put them into a cube and spun them, which is now taking the etheric form and putting it into a physical form, because it's a cube. And I found out that this is the inside of the heart, which is right there. and I can put it back into the tetrahedron. There it is in the tetrahedron. And then I put it back into the cube and spin it halfway until it gets to this point, and it gives me the thickness of the muscles of the human heart, the left ventricle. So what it means is that the tip of the apex of the heart, which sits in the cube like this in the human body, this is where all the warmth is. This is where all the spiraling is going on. But up here it doesn't move because it's light. So I would say, and I don't know this, but I would say that if you could measure the blood temperature at the top where the mitral valve is and where the apex is, there's a difference in temperature. This is where all the warmth is. And the heart is a warmth organ. Okay, so this is the spinning. See how it gets smaller and smaller. So that this form is this one, and the one inside looks like this. So you can see that it does change when it spins. It gets longer. These are proportionally the same. But when you spin it in a cube, this is what the inside, this is the place that the blood collects. This is the shape of what the blood takes. But you're going to say, well, the heart's not geometric. That's right, it's not. But when you put it into minimum surfaces, this is what it looks like, and this is what it looks like in the heart. Right off the internet. This is exactly the same shape, except that it has been put into minimum surfaces, which means that it's put life forces, the light ether. And the light ether expands from the inside out. Okay, here it shows you how it's twisting. All the twisting is going on the apex. Okay, this is warmth, but where the light is, it's not. It's basically turns, but it's not spiraling like the inside or the apex. Okay, so I guess I've got the etheric here and I have the physical here. So let me show you what I found about how these go through alchemy. All right. The reversal, let's see. The cube I explained. The reversal here, okay, is one inside the other. So water, I found out water, this is everything that's different, and you saw how it's always different. Trees always grow at 90 degrees. All our walls basically are 90 degrees. Okay, our eagle stands at 90 degrees. Okay, so, but when you get to water, is everything that changes. So I couldn't figure out how to change this until I worked and finally figured out how to change it. So how do I change? You see the difference in the cube, but how do I change the cube? How do I change it? And what I found out that water is what's flowing. Okay, so water is what's flowing. So I figured out the only thing I could do with that is to spin it. And so I did. And this is what I got. That's a cube in motion that's come to rest. This is water. This is what's changing. And above that is the tone ether. All right, so I'll put that there. And then you'll say, well, yeah, that's no cube. I know better than now, follow that. So I'll show you where this form comes from. I'm putting this through at root 3. This is water. This is flowing. And this has come to rest. Now there's the transformation, and here's the cube. All right, now what about the reversing? How do I reverse this? Reversing is turning it inside out. This is what we have to do, is to work with these reversals. So I found out that I could turn this inside out. And I got another new form. Another new form not seen. I'll show it to you. Little pink guy. Isn't he cute? It's all triangles. The cube is all triangles. This is the inside of the cube, okay, on the outside. This is a reversal. Kidneys. All right, here we go. Two cubes. So this is what we have to do, is work on turning things inside out. That's this one. Inside out. Look what it turns into. All right, now, what do I do with the cube? We've found what water does to the cube, which is what's changing. We found out what's reversing with the cube. Lawfully, these are lawful. What do we do about fire, which is transformation? Well, transformation is this. A guy named Paul Schultz, he took a cube, and he took this corner out and this corner out, and this is a transformation. It's known as an inversion of a cube. So what it's doing is it's not just, you know, this is an inversion. Fire is not reversing. See, this is, everybody thinks this is an inversion. So I have these guys come up to me all the time, this is an inversion, because it's going back and forth at the same time. Okay, so this hand is going forward, okay, and this hand is going backwards and forwards and backwards. Okay, an inversion goes forward and backwards at the same time, but with one hand. This is a reversal. But this, how do you make your hand go forward and backwards, same time? And that's what this does. It goes towards you and towards me at the same time. So this came from a torus. This is an organic inversion. The center is going towards you, the periphery is going towards me. This is centric, this is peripheral. Going to the center, going out to the periphery. You see how geometry can make sense out of what is being written? Okay, and inside this one, there is a form. And that form, where my hand is, they found this form, looks like this. It's an oloid. He named it an oloid. It's absolutely beautiful. Oloid. O-L-I-L-O. And it's exactly the same arc here as the same arc here. And there is a straight line, a curved line, and then there's straight lines. So the straights and curves in here. They use this to mix explosives because they don't explode. And they also use it in water to try to build up oxygen level in the water. Okay, and it works. It builds up the oxygen level up to 2 units. It takes that about 8 hours. Okay, so now you see alchemy done through the forms that are the only forms in the world that have these particular characteristics. Equal surface area, same distance from the center to all the corners, on and on and on. They have all these wonderful characteristics, but there's only 5. This guy is not a Platonic form. It's a transitional form. It's exactly the opposite of this. This is an earth transformation. This is an etheric transformation. Now we know. This is a heart.